wrestling fans, I am Drew Evans here, live from the Airport Hilton in St. Louis, Missouri, and on today's very special SICW All-Star Wrestling, we're going to show you what happened when the one and only Bill Apter led a Q&A session in front of the great wrestling fans here at FanFest 3. Come on!
Do we know who this guy is?
Am I the best man?
Yeah, I think he is not the best man.
Mr. Wrestler!
No!
In the famous words of Ron Simmons, hi everybody. This is, by the way, the original Mr. Wrestling number 2 mask.
Oh, wow.
Do all of you remember Mr. Wrestling number 2?
Yes,
So I mentioned earlier on Bert Simmons' show that I wanted to do an imitation contest, and I have a prize for the best one. But do you remember what he sounded like? He'd go and he'd do, Friday night, Ricky Morton, I'm coming to get you, boy. And the Omni, Ricky Morton, everybody. So do we have any volunteers who want to do a wrestling imitation? No. What? Who said no? Hold it down. Security, get him out of here. Get him out. No wrestling imitations? You've got one. Come on up over here. Come on up over here. What, pardon our backs over there. Maybe we should just pop in the ring now. I'll put you on my figure four. What's your name? It doesn't matter what your name is.
Well, let me tell you something, Bill Actor.
That wasn't bad. Who was it? Okay, let's have our hands for Hulk Hogan. Okay. Anybody else for wrestling invitation? Come on, somebody, you've got to be able to do one. Come on up here. Tell everybody who you are.
My name's Reggie.
Yes,
Reggie. You know me? Yeah, Reggie Hart.
Yeah. What are you going to do?
I'm gonna do the one that you always do.
Which one?
That's the road. I am Bill Mountain Dream. That's the road. 2 miles foul, 2 feet to be foul. 3 times was every time. 3 times was every time. Bill, no Bill. You can't do it, brother. You can't do it. You can't do it, brother.
You know what stupid fighter Ricky Silver would say to that, right? You know something about an American dream that was beautiful. One time I had to go see my doctor because I started understanding circus interviews. I couldn't believe it. Anybody else on this side have any, oh wait a minute, this guy. Can you do, there's a wrestler, there's this guy at Rock and Roll Express. And you look a lot like Ricky Morton. Can you do a Ricky Morton imitation? You have to stand up. Okay. You have to stand up. What's your name, sir?
My name is Susie. Let me have this microphone. Let's wake up in here. Yeah. What I'm talking about. This is a rock and roll. Go sit down. Bill, I don't know why I was supposed to be here. I just wanted to show up. Because one thing that I always tell everybody, thanks to all of you for coming out, because without you, none of us could be here. Thank you very much. And thanks to Mr. Herb Simmons over there. Give it up for him. Kim, that's what you call stooging. You guys know this lady right here? This is Bruce Brody's wife right beside us. How you doing, brother? No, sorry, I want you guys to look at this gentleman right here. Stand up for a minute, brother. You know what your shirt says? No, it says, I'll read that. Go this way. It says, we will talk. Good.
When did I lose my job?
No, you can't have it. Hey, and the baddest man in the world is in the house tonight. Mr. Abdul Butcher. This gentleman was the most serious guy in the world. I used to wrestling. But thanks to him, he led me to the ring to wrestle Ric Flair out on Broadway's every night from a man like this gentleman right here.
Ricky Morton, everybody. Ricky Morton. So I got Abdul. Oh, we're gonna take a picture here. Good, we got the pose. By the way, in Georgia, he wasn't Abdul Butcher, he was Abdul. With an R at the end. Abdul. That's right. So we have. Oh no! Look at that! Wait, get a referee! Get a referee! Do you know where Abdullah Butcher went to college? He went to Fork U. Excuse me, sir, we're working here? I won't alone. No, it's okay. No, if we have it. What the heck does Arriba mean?
Arriba means on top.
So why don't you put my wife last name?
We are the bottom.
Arriba! Oh, I hope there's nobody on the top. Oh, I'm sorry. Let me get over it. So, we're opening this up for questions from me, Tito Santana, Ann Newler, Barbara Goodish, and Ricky Morton, if he's still here. He left. Oh my goodness, something we must have said. So any questions, raise your hand, and we'll come over to you, and you too, right? I didn't see you back there. So anybody have a question they'd like to ask one of our legends? Raise your hand. Are you raising your hand back there? You're just scratching your head? Now you have to come up with a question. So, okay, well I'm going to start it off then, and I'd like to know, for Bruce and Brody's wife, well, let's have a big hand for Barbara Goodish. All the years that you saw your husband wrestle, and your little son saw your husband wrestle, what was the most dangerous thing you saw him do?
Abdullah the Butcher.
So where was the match, do you remember?
There were so many of them that I couldn't. Some of it was Puerto Rico, of course. I wasn't live, but he would bring the tapes home, so I would see the tapes that he would go through and critique himself and everything. But I think Abby can probably tell you exactly, because he was at also Ric Flair.
Yes.
Yeah, there was a lot of good matches with Ric Flair. Jimmy Snuka was another.
That was a good impression, lady.
Oh yes.
Flair?
Flair. I did see him wrestle. We were in, where were we? It was St. Louis. And what was it called?
The Kiel.
It wasn't
The
the
Kiel Auditorium, the Chase.
Checkerdome. Checkerdome. It was the big show at the Checkerdome. He went 1 hour, which people couldn't believe that he could wrestle. Him and Ric Flair for 1 hour. The Japanese were there. And that was one of the few matches that I saw. So I guess I got one of the best matches.
Yes.
Even though everybody always asks me about the Lex Luger match.
Tell us about that. There's a lot of people. Do you want to hear about that?
I don't know the exact thing or anything, but they all ask me. I've heard different opinions and different people are telling me stories. But I think the match didn't quite go the way it was meant to go. And I know I'm going to listen to a lot of people might know some opinions, so maybe people can tell me their versions and everything. But what was your opinion? I'm sure you've seen the match.
No comment until I watch it again.
Okay.
Thank you.
We'll watch it.
Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, Robert Gibson is here. You know what? I haven't seen Robert Gibson and Ricky Morton together in a long time. You notice Ricky Morton left and now, wait a minute, are you Ricky Morton now coming back as Robert Gibson?
You know, you're the third person to say that about Robert Gibson. Who is that?
What's that?
You're the third person to say I look like Robert Gibson.
He's the guy that let Ricky Morton do all the work in the ring.
Is that on my backwards?
Is that it? Yes. That's what he backwards. Robert Gibson, everybody. So, people always ask about, will you guys hold it down here? Sweet. Gonna go right into my Jerry Lewis invitation. We're trying to talk, lady. All right. Anyway, so, everybody always asks the classic question, the greatest match. What was, in your opinion, in the prime of the Rock and Roll Express, what was the greatest match you ever wrestled with Ricky Morton?
Probably when you brought us all that fan mail and we threw you down on the floor and put the boost to you.
I remember that, yeah.
Probably the best time.
Yeah, we did a dream date with the Rock and Roll Express when we took them to New York City with two 12-year-old girls to see the Broad. They were very well behaved. No, I'm not talking about them, I'm talking about the 12-year-olds. But we took them to see the Broadway show Cats. We did, yeah, you remember that?
I know we took the lookalikes to the Carol Ranch in Big City. Remember that?
Which one?
The Carol Ranch, the theme park.
Yeah, I remember that.
We took the
But I'm
lookalikes.
talking about the scaffold matches with the Midnight Express.
Oh, yeah.
Do we all remember that? Yeah. That was, how did you guys, were you guys standing up?
I was the only one that wouldn't see her in the heights. They did very shaky, but they trust me out.
Is that right?
They trust me out. Stop it.
Well, did you have to go over, did you guys have to go over that match first?
Back then, you go into nothing.
Yes. Yeah.
Just went out there and did it.
So that match, if I remember correctly, Bill Watts came up with that originally, or was it Dusty Rhodes?
And we did it first in Bill Watts.
So Bill Watts came up with that. What was he, can you imagine him thinking in all this? Why don't we put a scaffold up and let guys fall down?
If you look at what we did in Chicago, the rails at the top, you know, the rails.
I was there.
He did this on one side, he hit the rail, and did. The whole thing swung open. Oh shit. I snapped the back and put my whole thing off.
Wow.
So I grabbed those around the hair of the head. We're just like,
Unbelievable. Anybody have a question for Robert Gibson? A rock and roll question for, hey, okay, stay right there, Robert. We
I
find
got
out.
no answer.
Yes, sir. What's your name? I already did that.
Hi, my name is Kevin. I have a question for you. The only time I've ever seen you guys do a heel run was briefly when you guys were in the WWF where they had that whole, NWA thing. How did you guys feel about being heels? Because I pretty much you guys since a kid, and I've never seen you guys get healed.
Actually, it was fun. A lot easier to be a heel than it is a babyface.
Is that right? It's harder to be a heel or more?
It's easy.
So it's more, is it actually, excuse me, sir? Can I see your ticket? Oh, okay, thank you. If I'm walking around here with like this huge thing, oh, okay. I thought you were just glad to see me.
I think it's a lot easier being a heel.
Being a heel.
You can lie, cheat, do what you want to.
Yeah. Are you a natural heel, you think?
No.
No, I know you're not. You and I, this guy and I spend time on Facebook telling jokes to each other like 3 o'clock in the morning. My wife is saying, "What are you doing?" I said, "Robert, who's Robert? What are you doing?" She look at my instant message, and they're not all clean, but we have a good time. Yes, sir. Would you like to say, "Oh, I know you"? Wait, let me introduce. Let me imitate your father. You ready? Here, you ask me. I'm Harley Race. This is Harley Race's son, everybody. So you be the broadcaster, I'll be Harley Race, and you ask me for a question. Okay?
I don't know how to be a broadcaster.
Fake it. All right. Ask me about some opponent. Anybody? Tito Santana.
Well, he's right here.
I know.
What are you gonna say?
Ask me what I.
Come on, Harley.
We're role playing. We're role playing here.
Yeah, when I was 18 years old, me and Tommy Rich was driving back from Augusta, Georgia to Atlanta. Tommy was driving Trans Am. I was a young green baby face. We doing about 75 miles an hour, and all of a sudden, your dad and Andre the Giant was in a station wagon, and they're pushing the interstate. We're in a Trans Am, and Harley's actually pushing us down the station wagon with Andre the Giant.
Great story.
He always laughed early. was left late and got hurt.
Yes, I remember traveling with him one time in Japan, and he scared the crap out of me. We were going to go on a private plane. I had never been in a four-seater, and he said to me, when those thunder clouds start coming up, the plane will go up and down, and you'll probably move your bowels. I didn't. I took a commercial jet instead.
I know Dad had a preference of pilots.
That's right. What were you going to say, Ron? Oh, he's Scott Romer. Yes, it's our photographer. Thank you, Justin Race. Thank you.
Absolutely. Thank you.
I want to talk to one of my favorite people. I want to tell him a story. This here's Abdullah. You remember him? One time I seen him wrestle Mr. Wrestling number 10, and he killed Mr. Wrestling number 2, and we buried Mr. Wrestling number 2. Was that fake? They always ask that afterwards. You killed and buried somebody. Was that fake? Unreal. Abdullah. So the first time, Abdullah Butcher, everybody. First time I met this guy. Yep, it's on. First time I met this guy was in Buffalo, New York. He was wrestling for Pedro Martinez, and I went over and introduced myself to him. He was with his manager, Bruce Swayze, who pushed me down onto the floor. He grabbed a garbage can and threw it on me, and then smiled and walked out of the dressing room. Do you remember that? He attacked me in Atlanta when I was shooting pictures around the ring. He would attack me regularly. Do you remember the photographer Jimmy Suzuki? Jimmy Suzuki used to go over to him and say, "Oh, can you please make me bleed tonight?" Yes. Right? He would ask you to cut him.
Everybody would want me to beat the hell out of me. Me and Bruiser Brody used to fight at everybody, kick the shit out of everybody. Everybody was scared of us, and we never planned no fight. Everything what we done, we would punch each other and stuff like that, and later on, the guys would say, "Damn, you guys are here killing each other." I said, "That's why the people keep coming to see us." We'd go into a place, we'd wrestle, tear up the chairs, go up in the balconies, go in the street. We done everything, but we never planned no fight. We were doing it so long, it was unbelievable. From Japan, understand, to Israel, Australia, Puerto Rico, all these places, me and Brody fought all over. And number one is this. Brody used to say, if they don't go down this time, they'll go down the second time. And that's what we done.
Some of the matches that I photographed back in, you people remember the magazine days? Yeah. Those were the days, my friend. So some of the matches that we had here on the cover were those bloody brawls with Carlos Colon. They used to have guards with guard dogs around the ring because the fans would riot when he beat up Carlos Colon, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
But the main part, the biggest riots what we had was me and Bruiser Brody when we fought all over the goddamn building. Plus when we fought up in the stairs. Me and Brody was the ones who fought everybody and would fight anybody. In my opinion, I am very, 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 very sorry. I miss him. When I say I miss him,
Let's have a hand for Bruiser Brody. Questions for our legends? Who's got a hand raised? Any questions? Yes, sir. Hang on a minute. Hold on. And what's your name?
Eric Horsley,
Where are you from, Eric?
Portsmouth, Ohio.
Okay, so thank you for coming. What's your question and for who?
My question is for Abdullah. Was there any time that you yourself were scared? I mean, you had a habit of scaring anybody and everybody. Was there any time, maybe in a certain arena or a certain night, that you would have been scared, actually maybe of leaving you had to rush out and leave the arena, which that really scared you?
You mean from the fans or what?
From the fans, yeah.
A couple of times.
Hold it a little closer. Hold it a little closer. Hold it a little closer.
Well, like a couple of times, I was wrestling someplace, and I pulled on my fork, and I was stabbing this guy in the head. And when I was stabbing him, the police got up there and said, "Damn, that son of a bitch is in our area trying to kill somebody with a goddamn fork." Even the police, every time that they see him, any time that I fought somebody, I'd be stabbing them or biting them, stuff like that, everybody thought it was real. And that's what me, was saying, Terry fought, all of them, everybody who we fought, Gene Kaniski, all of them who we fought, you understand, it was real to the public because we made it real. And that's it. Anything else?
Thank you, everyone.
And one other thing, Mrs. Brody, I'm waiting for your son to take Brody's place.
Yes, is Jeremy going to Drexel? No.
He will. All right, thank you very much. And
Well, we're not going to the evening yet. We're still going to have some questions for you, I'm sure. Tito Santana, I've got a question for you. Tito Santana, question for you. When you held the Intercontinental title, you were one of the greatest Intercontinental champion of all time. Correct, everybody? Yeah. Arriba! There you go again. So, again, you were on top, really. So, once you left the business, you left the business. So many guys leave the business, and they're back again and again and again. Why did you decide to just stop?
Well, as everybody knows, back then, we were on the road 350 days a year. And I had missed so many birthdays, anniversaries, Christmas, New Year's, any holiday, we'd be entertaining the fans. And it kind of got to where I just didn't want to do it anymore. My family became more important than the business. The business was good to me, but enough was enough. And thank God that I had a teaching degree and I was able to start a second career. So I went into teaching, and everything worked out for me. And
what did you tell the students when you came in there and they said, "Wait a minute, that's the guy that WWF, that's Tito Santana"? What did you tell them?
Well, I would tell them here in the classroom, I'm Senor Solis.
Oh, I like that, okay.
Yeah, and if we had some downtime, I would let them play some of my matches on the big screen, and we'd watch a little bit of wrestling. But, I was trying to teach him Spanish and trying to teach him about life a little bit, because I was telling somebody earlier, it was my 8th grade gym teacher who made a big difference in my life. So I figured that I was going to make a big difference in a lot of the kids' lives, and I believe I did. I treated them with respect, and they respected me. That's the way of the business. Anybody who's in the business, I treated them with respect, and the boys respected me.
Thank you. So you have no regrets in the way things turned out?
No regrets. The last thing I wanted to do is get back on the road and be gone all the time. That just, it wasn't an easy life for anybody.
These days it's totally different because you're in WWE. You're now traveling all over the world for a week. Then you're going to Raw. Then you're going to NXT. Then you're going to SmackDown. It's a totally different life.
Yeah, and on the weekends, Saturdays and Sundays, Vince would rent, I believe he either 4 or 8 Learjets, and we were doing tour-days on Saturdays and Sundays. And then during TV tapings, we wrestled 2 or 3 times, you know, a day. They had two days of TV tapings. So we were abusing our bodies quite a bit. That's why so many of our friends are not here anymore. You know, they got into pain pills and, you know, other things to survive. You know, our daily punishment. You know, the body's just not made to be abused the way we abused it. And I think the young guys now, you know, abuse it even worse than what we did. I mean,
Everybody's doing high spots.
right? Yeah.
Everybody.
Crazy bumps.
Barbara, did you want to say something?
Yes, I forgot one of the most important people that Frank wrestled was Harley Race.
Yes, of course.
And Justin has told me some interesting stories about his dad and Frank in Japan.
Could we tell us something? Justin Race, everybody. Would you mind standing so people can see you? Thank you. Now we know who you are. Now we can see for sure. Thank you.
Well, all right, well, Frank he liked to have fun, he liked to have fun with my dad. And east where we were on a tour in Japan, and I don't know, I was 7, 8, 9 years old, somewhere in there. And I think he was with Stan, and Dad was with Larry.
Stan Hansen, right?
Yeah, and Larry, Dad was with Larry the Axeman, you know, a bunch of other teams. Anyhow, Frank wore his sweatpants, his old sweatpants, you know, you roll them up to your knees. And I thought that looked cool. So you know, I put my sweatpants on, pull them up to my knees, whatever, walk down. We're standing there in the lobby, and my dad walks like into the lobby, and he looks at Frank, he looks at me, he looks back at Frank. God damn it, Frank. You got my son dressed like a hobo. I thought it was cool. And then, of course, Mr. Brody looked over at me and winked. He got Harley.
Thank you, Justin Race. By the way, I want to point out in the balcony over there, Andrew Anderson is sitting in the balcony there. Stand up, Mr. Anderson. And Caroline DeStefano was your independent wrestling managers. So if I missed anyone else, I don't have my driving glasses on at the moment. All right, we have some time for some more questions. Who's got a question for anyone on our panel? Anybody have a question for anything back in the magazine pages? Yes, sir. Stand up, please. What is your name? Man, you look like a wrestler.
How you doing, sir? My name is Jason Reed. I actually wrestle for Rose.
Okay, well, all right, Jason. I'm glad you're here. I know.
My question for you
Yes.
what would be the top 3 matches you could watch over and over again?
Jack Briscoe, Dory Funk Jr., Ricky Steamboat, Ric Flair. God, I'm gonna go way back from when I was a kid. The Graham Brothers against the Bastien Brothers. Yeah, that's a great question. Do you have a question, sir? Stand up, your name. Sean Vincent. Good to see you, Sean. I didn't know I know you. So what is your question?
With the recent passing of Sabu,
I was going to talk about that. One of my dearest friends.
what is one of your most fondest memories of Sabu?
Meeting him for the first time when his when his uncle, the Sheik, Ed Farhad, introduced me to him when he was a teenager. Yeah. So right now, what I'd like to do, just so all of us remember Sabu, on the count of 3, let's all. 1, 2, 3. We love you, Sabu. Thank you. Yes, great question. Thank you. But he was such an innovator because no one did anything like him before that. There have been didn't ever do what he did. So, next question. Thank you, sir. All the way in the balcony. All the way in the balcony here. I'm getting my steps in for today. It's wonderful. No, I'm good. Thank you. Thank you. All right, $8.50 an hour.
Did I get paid?
You do. Hello, my dear. What's your name?
My name is Shauna.
And Shauna, what's your question? Who's it for?
For Abdullah.
Abdullah, this one is for you.
What is your most greatest match with Brody, and would you do it all over again?
So the question is, for Abdullah, what is his favorite match against Abdullah, and would you do it all over again?
Favorite match with Brody.
Okay, go.
I'm slow.
I'm slow inside.
What's that?
Mr. Butcher, the question was if you had a single favorite match with Brody, and would you do it again?
That's the same question I was doing.
100 times over again. And my favorite match was all the matches when I wrestled Brody. They were all the same matches, and we tore every goddamn place down.
Literally, we tore down literally. First time I ever went to Japan, I was shooting pictures on the ring over here. I didn't know what Hanson and Brody's entrance was. All of a sudden, there's 15,000 Japanese fans going, screaming and yelling. And I look behind me, and there's Stan Hansen and Bruiser Brody coming out swinging chains. You would have thought Godzilla was in the building that they were making a Godzilla movie. I thought I was going to die. It was one of the scariest things. Next question. Hold on one second, in case there's someone who has not asked a question before. Okay. Oh, we're going to go to this gentleman. I will be back to you. You're much bigger than me. I'm not going to screw around with you.
Tell them how the fans would go to the doors.
How the fans will go up to the doors?
You know, they play that music, and they come out with a chain.
Well, that's right. That's right. I remember that.
They would line up like bulls.
I remember that. Who's that on your shirt? Haku, one of the toughest shooters in the business. One guy who you never want to become an enemy with. He was probably the sweetest guy in the world, but if you were on his bad side, you'd go through all walls. What's your name, sir?
Tyler,
Tyler, what's your question for who?
for the Telecon about Haku. I know you've been in the ring quite a few times with him. What is your favorite moment with Haku in the ring?
Great question. Favorite moment with Haku in the ring?
So I've had the opportunity several times, as you said. We've enjoyed it every time. Brutal matches. And two things come to mind. One was over in Belleville. I'm bleeding heavily. I go to chopping, and I completely miss, right? I completely miss, and he goes, "What was that?" Right? So the blood's in my eyes, I can't see. I lean over, I hit him, and I chop him right on the end of the nipple. And all I can hear is, my nipple, my nipple, chop my nipple. We were also working in St. Louis for Harley Race, and we're going to go double down, a double clothesline, hit a double clothesline. Just as we hit the mat, the lights go out in the building. It's completely black. I didn't know if he killed me or what had happened. But everything, I mean, it was just black. And it was the old gym lights where they had to warm back up. And so I lean over to him and I go, "What do we do?" I hear, "Just lay here." So I lay there and we hear the lights start to warm back up and you hear that psst, and they start coming back on, and just as it's like the sun is rising again, right? He goes, "Let's go, brother." So we get up and we never miss a beat. We go right into the next part and we can start beating the hell out of each other.
By the way, ladies and gentlemen, standing over by the entrance by Mark seen on sports. He just wrestle binge three times a week we're seeing. So please subscribe to Wrestle Binge. Barbara Brody, you have another statement?
Yes, you were talking about Stan and Frank going to the ring in Japan. How everybody just took off and he's waving and shouting. When he showed me some matches, I was petrified. I said, aren't you scared about hitting somebody? I mean, he gave me that look that you have seen, horrified look. You sort of said, Barbara, I'm 6'5". My arm is up here. You think I have any chance of hitting anybody?
That's good. Thank you, Barbara. By the way, how many of you remember Bruiser Brody's run in WWF? Yeah, and it's kind of like barely, he was not allowed to be the maniacal Bruiser Brody there. It was a different style, it just didn't fit him.
That's where he got the name.
Yes, the reason that he got the name Bruiser Brody is because his name, Frank Goodish, Vince McMahon Sr. said, we can't use that name because it sounds like you're a good guy. That's why they changed it to Brody. So, more questions, anybody? Oh, we're going to go to our Hulk impersonator here. What's he going to ask, brother?
Well, I have a question for the American Giant.
Well, what is your question for the American Giant?
I would like to know what was going through your mind when you and Pistol Pez Watley faced Kevin Nash and Scott Hall.
Will you mind standing, sir? Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Go After the Midget.
Oh boy.
Nice weather up here. So what was that like? You and Pistol Pez Watley against Hulk, and Kevin Nash.
I tell you what, it's definitely a big experience. I don't know what to expect, but Pez told me, if you get pinned by the inside, I'm going to slap you up to the ladder myself.
How did that match turn out?
Nash pinned me, 1, 2, 3, and he dropped the leg on the second rope. I went back. X-Pac decided to slap me across the face. I rolled him.
You all heard that he called X-Pac a little wimp. Someone get on the internet, please, right now and post that. If we can start trouble.
But I may have lost energy and a lot more experience, but the thing about it is I did what needed to be done, and it's a learning experience. That's all there is to it.
Okay, thank you. Can you take me down, please? Thank you very much.
Do a dive off of his shoulders.
You know something, brother? When I was younger, I could do that. Let's have a hand for these guys. Why did you follow me? I went to the bathroom, you were in there. What are you doing? I didn't go to the bathroom. You haven't done. You can, when I'm relaying later tonight, you can.
This is for Abdullah the Butcher.
Abdullah, we have another question for Abdullah.
In 1985, Starrcade faced Eddie Fernandez, and after the match, you went behind, or you went backstage, and it was reported that you were livid, absolutely angry. And I'm just wondering, what exactly happened in that match that made you so angry backstage?
Yourself and Manny Fernandez, Starrcade 85, they say after that match you were a little angry backstage. Do you remember what made you angry?
When was that match?
Starrcade 85, would that have been Charlotte? Anybody? Greensboro? North Carolina, either way.
It was in the Mid-Atlantic area.
I think you hit him in the head
That's probably why he's pissed off at me.
They say you were mad. You were mad about something.
Well, like I had a good match with him, but the main part about it, he was crazy and I was crazy too. And we done a lot of shitty stuff together and we'd hit each other and that was it.
He's still out there. Are you and Manny okay now? Have you spoken to him in a long time?
I'm friendly with everybody. Everybody who I've fought, everybody who has done a job for me. Understand? I've always told them if they were doing a job or whatever, I would say, listen, you don't have to do it because when I get you in that ring and you're a job man, I have to cane you to get over myself.
Do you have any specific memories of Manny Fernandez that stick out?
I had good matches with him. Like that, he was crazy. I was crazy. Everybody was crazy.
That always helps. We're all crazy.
He was one of Dusty Rhodes' crew, so to say. Dusty really loved him, and he booked him almost everywhere he went. Yeah. All right, thank you. Young man over here has a question. Your name?
Travis. My name's Travis. This question's for you, Robert Gibson.
Robert Gibson, come over here. We have a question for you. We got no answers. Leave us alone.
By the way, sitting at the table where Robert Gibson just came from, the fabulous NWA heavyweight champion of the world, Dory Funk Jr. Let's all do like they did in Japan. Dory, 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 Dory. I'm going to speak to you in Japanese, the only words I know. Chicken teriyaki. Okay. Your question, sir.
My question is, I think Robert can answer this better than anybody. You have any Jim Cornette stories? I'm a huge Cornette fan, so I can hear your Jim Cornette story.
You asked both of us. My only Jim Cornette story is when I wrote my book, Is Wrestling Fixed? I didn't know it was broken. I asked Jim Cornette for a quote, and he said, "Bill Rogers' book sucks because he doesn't bury anybody."
I got one off the top of my head. I didn't know about this until years later. And Bill Watts territory in Mid-South. We had to go ahead and take back roads. Shreveport back to Alexander was all too late. Well, this one particular night, Jim Cornette, when the soldiers were over, he never stopped. He took off. He stopped and made home. He's going down the interstate. He's going to this one town. They stopped him. He said, "Hey, I ain't done nothing wrong. I'm going to speed limit." And he made sure he didn't do nothing wrong. And he said, "No, we know you didn't do anything wrong, but Dennis and Bobby had stopped in the town behind him. They were going through. And he told them that they had him locked up. The other years were back to get him." And Cornette says, "Shit." He turns around, drives back to the town. When he goes in there, the sheriff is sitting behind the counter. He goes, "So you're Jimmy Cornette? Huh. You're the guy that picked up death over the Rock and Roll Space and made him lose the belts." He said, "Hey, what like it?" He goes, "Don't tell me, son. I saw it on TV. I saw exactly what you did." And then long story, about 2 hours later, he finally let him go.
When you're on TV, what's your name? Okay, what's your question? Tito, question.
I'm just wondering if you ever faced Harley, Abdullah, or Brody? I'm sure he has, but I haven't seen the matches and what his thoughts are on this group.
So, did you ever wrestle Harley, Abdullah, or
Brody?
Or Brody? Or Dory Funk? Yeah.
I wrestled against Dory in a tag match, me and JYD, WrestleMania 2. I wrestled, I think, a couple of times against Harley Race. And one story I remember about Harley Race, I was real young, and we were in the Battle Royal, and he grabbed me and he takes me to the corner and says, "Come here, kid. You're gonna learn how to throw a punch today." Throwing a punch in wrestling, you know, I want to throw a punch at Harley Race, you know, and I was scared shitless, you know. So he says, "Okay, kid, throw the punch." So I threw the punch, and we had a phrase, a potato. I was afraid to potato him, and he says, "Lay it in, you pussy." So, you know, then I started able to throw a punch without being afraid, and I think that's you know, I was telling Justin here, that's how I learned how to throw a punch. I never wrestled against Abdullah. You know, I just got started, and I used to watch him wrestle in Atlanta against Tommy Rich, and you know, he was too wild for me. You know, he scared the shit out of me, and I was in the business already. But one thing about Abdullah, I went to Japan for the first time, and I was just telling Dennis, Abdullah was over in Japan like $1 million. I mean, those Japanese they'd probably gave him a bath and carried his bags, and you know, they did everything for him. And he had sponsors, and that was my first time there. And Abdullah would invite me to come along. You know, he didn't even know me, but he knew that I was a young kid, and I would go out to eat with Abdullah in Japan, you know, with his sponsors, at the best Korean barbecue there. But, you know, as you guys know, you know, everybody back then was a great wrestler. You know, everybody was a great performer. The fans would see a great match from the first match to the last match. You know, those were the good old days. And whenever I talk to the fans, this is why I enjoy doing this, because the fans always tell you, you know, thank you for the memories. You know, you guys were great performers, and you know, I agree. Everybody could have been a main event in the card, you know, but only the lucky ones were. You know, not everybody got to be in the main event. Abdullah was always in the main event. Richard Brody was always in the main event. You know, Dory and Terry was always in the main event. I was in the main event towards the end of my career quite a bit, but I had a great experience in the business. You know, it was great.
Thank you, Tito. Herb, thank you for making this happen tonight. Herb Simmons, everyone.
I want to just say one thing. As I said, starting off, putting these type of shows on can be happy, but I want you to give a round of applause to all of our legends that are here, because they take their time. You know, when you look around, we have Dory Funk Jr., former NWA champion, you know, Tito Santana, you know, everybody, you know, the family of Knox Bakers here. Tomorrow night you will see the family of the late Butch Reed is going to be with us. So we've got a lot to offer tomorrow, but you know, visit with these legends, because I'm telling you, as Bill said, and we all know, we lost Sabu earlier. We never know what's going to happen. A lot of you have talked to me. I appreciate each and every one of you supporting SICW. My good friend Carmine was here. He drove down from Oklahoma. A lot of you really touched our hearts here at SICW. So I hope you, in the vendors that we have here, participate, go out there, look at them. They got stuff. We got a podcast going to be taking place tomorrow. We appreciate that. JT Collectibles, everybody. So I hope you come back tomorrow, and then tomorrow evening, the Bruiser Brody Memorial will take place. Everybody have a good time, and you have a safe night.
And just to say this, as I'm starting the evening, remember, I just can't smile without all of you. Thank you.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, you saw it. What a treat. Bill Apter holding it down with all the legends, all the fans, and we appreciate each and every one of you joining us here tonight on All-Star Wrestling. I'm Drew Ebenhouse, and we will see you once again right here next week. Same place, same time on All-Star Wrestling. Have a good night, folks.